So we're here at SMX, and I'm outside the Bing stand with the fabulous Kristy Bolsinger from PwC. You've just come off stage after doing a fantastic session on social media. Now, I want to ask, I get a lot of people coming to me saying, you know what, Mel, I thought I had social media nailed. I have a Facebook page, a Twitter account, I'm doing some video, but I'm getting the feeling that it's a little bit too tactical. They want to get more into the strategy. So how do you help your clients do that?
I think that's a pretty common problem, actually, especially for the social marketer who is a little bit more constrained from resources and time. I think a good place to start is to really step back for a minute and look at your organizational objectives. Step back away from your dashboard that you're looking at every day. You're tracking your likes and your links and your comments and all of those things. They're also all great measures of what kind of engagement you're getting and indicators of success. But if you can step back a little bit and marry some of those same efforts to your overall business objectives and find ways to really move the needle in meaningful ways that maybe your executives are caring about, I think you'll be able to see deeper engagement and deeper levels of success if you can do that. And it gets you a little bit out of the weeds too, and thinking bigger picture on how you can impact the business as a whole rather than just your business unit.
And when you're talking about deeper engagement, I mean, a lot of people think, when they think of social media, they think Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. But you were talking on stage today about communities and what you're doing with Microsoft. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, I think there's a big difference between, and this is something I talked about on stage as well, there's a difference between community with a big C and community with a little c. A lot of social practitioners like to talk about community with a little c, and that's this kind of ethereal community that you're creating around your brand. So our community of customers, our community of advocates, whatever the case may be. I think that a piece of the puzzle that people are really missing is that community with a big C, and that's that owned community, that whether it's customer support oriented, maybe it's advocacy or even just engagement and conversation oriented, like if it's around a lifestyle brand. Microsoft, for example, was an example I used because they have an amazing community, and it's all based around question and answer. So it's much more technical in nature, but that's the nature of their audience, and that's the nature of their product and what people want to engage around their product online. So a lot of it's knowing your customers and building that community on a community platform that you can then own and facilitate those conversations and not only give your customers what they want, but in turn you're able to see a lot of return on investment for yourself around analytics, data, engagement. So keeping those customers involved, customer satisfaction is then something you can measure and correlate to investment there. And even things for some brands around moving the needle away from incoming customer service calls. Those can be really expensive. So you can see call deflection metrics there. I mean, there's a lot of different benefits that it can have, and I think that's an area that is an opportunity for a lot of social marketers.
So you work with a lot of big brands who have to justify their spend with PwC on social. How do you help them figure out the right metrics to then feed back up to the business, the CMO?
So the first step in any engagement, as it were, with a lot of brands is really around determining what those highest level objectives are. So what as a business are we trying to accomplish, and how does the work that we're doing tie into that? And getting all of the right people at the table and having that conversation and coming to a place where you can agree on those 4 or 5 objectives. You can't boil the ocean, but what are those 4 or 5 objectives that we're all working on in our strategic focus for the next 18 months? And then from there, once you've all decided what those objectives are and you're all on the same page and you've got it written on the wall or on the table, your strategies and your tactics fall out from there. So setting those objectives up and making sure that everybody's on the same page really sets the stage for the work that gets done from there. And the rest of it kind of works itself out. And as long as you've got the right people in the right room at the right time and you can agree on all of those things, then you have a plan on a page that becomes your operating model and your roadmap for success.
I'm always encouraging brands to be agile because this industry is moving so quickly. What's the next big thing? What's the top tip? What should they be? What should they've been looking at like yesterday?
I think that the trend away from social as a channel and social as a strategy in and of itself is something that we're going to be seeing more of, and a focus more on the customer experience and the overall customer experience across all of the touch points. I think in order for a brand to be successful, they really need to take that kind of omni-channel approach, looking across every touch point that a customer could have with their organization and optimizing across that, rather than just having a Twitter strategy, and rather than making sure that their questions are being answered. That is all very, very important stuff. But in terms of your focus, it's your customers don't interact with you on silos. They don't know how you organize internally, and they don't care. What they care about is their experience and their time with you. And I think that shift in focus and that shift in perspective and how we think about that relationship is going to change, and it's really going to be customer experience driven.
Well, we thank you for the time you've spent with us. It's been a great experience. We'll have more from SMX soon and more delightful conversations.